have just woken up to a major blow for Fantom as we find that one of their major projects, Spirit Swap, is set to wind down. This is a major project that at the peak of Fantom's DeFi summer was really huge in terms of total value locked. We're talking here $375 million just in this one protocol locked in TVL. If you remember, one of the things that brought Fantom so much value was how well used it was for DeFi, and SpiritSwap was one of those early platforms which allowed people to use DeFi easily and seamlessly with great liquidity on Fantom. Since then, like many protocols, not just Fantom, many protocols out there led huge TVL numbers to fall, right, throughout the bear market. But now, this multi-chain incident was the final straw which broke the camel's back. You can see they're sitting at about 2.91 million here in total value locked currently, and they now do not have enough funds to fund their operations. What does this mean for Fantom? Is this just the start of projects collapsing on Fantom? We're going to get into that, going to get into the Fantom charts and a lot more. But the first thing I have to share with you guys is we need some accountability in this community, guys. Like every time I'm posting a video now, you guys are posting Fantom update. What update do you want? Every time there's an update, I bring you guys an update. Do you want a daily update of my conviction? You can't borrow my conviction. My conviction in Fantom has wobbled. It has changed. I made that video where I was walking in the park. Make sure you go watch it. I'm going to link it up here. That's where I'm at currently in terms of my mindset. You cannot go through this multi-chain saga as we're seeing it and see it play out as it's playing out and not wobble your conviction. We're not robots. We're investors, right? I don't have some inside scoop where I'm sat there with Michael Kong day in, day out. No. When I get interviews with Michael Kong, I bring it to you live on the channel and you get it, right? That's the data. We've got the same amount of data. Now, of course, I've done a lot more research. I've been in the project earlier. I've got a different cost basis than you. These are all things you've got to take into account, but it's not okay for you to be buying into one project, it taking up 80 to 90% of your portfolio. And then when something happens, you start crying and looking for someone to blame. Take accountability. Put on your big boy pants, because this is crypto investing, the most volatile asset class known to man. And within that, you're looking for smaller cap projects like Fantom. So you guys know from the outset, 2 years ago when I started making videos, Fantom was a very small part of the layer one section of my portfolio. I eat my veg, Bitcoin, Ethereum, I've got various other layer ones, and I take the risks. Just like how I survived with Terra Luna collapsing, I will survive if Fantom collapse. I'll survive if any project collapse. See, the biggest blow that I will take is, of course, if Bitcoin collapse, because that makes up a big part of my portfolio. But even then, some of you hold more Fantom percentage-wise than I hold Bitcoin. Insanity. So don't comment on these videos asking for Fantom updates every 2 minutes to prop up your conviction. That's not what these videos are about. These videos are about giving you the updates as and when they come in. And right now we do have a major update. So I'm coming to you to give you that update. So this was started breaking out in the Discord communities. They did come out and post an update. They're looking for someone to hand over Spirit Swap to, right? The essence is that they've run out of funds to fund the daily operations. And this is a common thing when you get, a bunch of issues in a bear market. But then on top of that, this multi-chain saga, and I need people to actually understand this point. When you have a bear market and then a 5 Sigma event like the multi-chain saga happen on top of that, that is a recipe for disaster. I would like to think that if this multi-chain issue happened during a bull market, all of these projects would have been fine. They would have been heavily in the green. But what happens, just like in the normal traditional finance economy, when you're in a bear market, everything is cash strapped. Everybody's operating at very fine margins and they're just about surviving, particularly for altcoins and smaller projects on altcoins like Spirit Swap. They would have just been surviving through the bear market. It would have been touch and go sometimes when Bitcoin was at 15,500 as to whether some of these projects would have survived. We just don't hear about it until they do close out. But this multi-chain saga was probably and most realistically the straw which broke the camel's back. Now, what's frustrating from my point of view here, and having spoken to Michael Kong here on this channel, is where was the Fantom Foundation and what could they have done, if anything, to support Spirit Swap, such a key component of the Fantom DeFi ecosystem, through this period? Could they have done something? Or is this, just blaming the multi-chain saga when really they were having operational and funding issues anyway? This is the kind of stuff we want to know, right? Because it's easy for a project to just say, oh, it was because of the multi-chain issue. Can we understand to what extent? And if it was multi-chain, why did Fantom Foundation not step in to plug in the gap if they could have, right? That's what I want to understand, because ultimately that's where you want to look after the projects, because that's going to look after the consumers. Now, in this case, no consumers are going to be harmed. Everybody's going to be able to get their money back. They're looking for a team to take over this project, but it is a blow. right? And so if we jump back on over to DeFi Llama, you can see this is total value locked just leaking away. I mean, if we take a look at Fantom's total value locked here, this was up in the 7.6 billion territory earlier in March of 2022. And of course, the bear market took its toll like it did on many projects. You can see that collapsing here to the downside, and all the individual protocols have collapsed the same too. Now your main dexes on Fantom are Spooky Swap, Beethoven. Spooky Swap sitting at a decent size here for a bear market, 22.8 million. Beethoven sitting at 8 million. And it's looking like a very sparse environment right now for DeFi on Fantom. Now, the other video I made for you guys the other day was which projects do I think can 5x in 2024? And a bunch of you again commented on there saying, where's Fantom? Guys, I think this multi-chain issue has set Fantom back. I think any of the projections or modeling you would have had for Fantom to really start to explode in the next bull market, I think they're going to have moments where they struggle. But that being said, I don't want you guys to think I have zero conviction in Fantom. I don't. I still believe in the project. I still believe in the tech. But what's wavering my conviction is, one, how this was handled. And again, I break that down in my video, guys. I've not minced my words. I've shared it exactly how I feel about it, that they didn't handle it so well. And this is a further evidence of that so far, is that why has this not been handled? Why, almost months now after the event, why are we not seeing that projects are being taken care of in the immediate aftermath to keep them alive, right? To resuscitate them, to keep them on a life support machine whilst we try to figure out if we can unlock the funds. That would be important to me. Now, interestingly, when you look at this here on Fantom, yesterday Bitcoin had a positive day. Fantom posted yesterday that it moved 1.85%, so less than Bitcoin, wasn't really moving like some of the other altcoins. But then today it's stacking that up with another 1.22% as I'm recording this video, despite Bitcoin looking fairly flat here. Now, I've shared my views on Bitcoin. Make sure you go watch my TA update from yesterday, because I still think this is a bit of a trap. I don't see where this momentum is going to go to break us through 32 and just keep going. I just think it's going to be a little bit of a relief bounce before a bigger pullback. So I'm being cautious for that. I'm looking out for that. But that said, I'm still in the market, right? My long-term bags are in the market. I'm locked, I'm loaded, I'm ready to go, but I'm looking for a nice trade, right? If we can bounce off our weekly EMA ribbon like I shared in yesterday's video, I will take that trade. So definitely check that out on that time frame. Now, in terms of Fantom, we got to keep a few things into perspective. And the first thing I want to keep into perspective is price point. If you look at the price point right now, we're sat at 23, 24 cents. Given what's happened in the multi-chain issue, if you go back to just here, if you just go back to November, last year when we were at the lows, you can see Fantom fell as low here as 16 cents, right? So even despite everything that's gone on, you can still see that Fantom, if we take the measured move here from about that November time to roughly where we're at now, still 42% higher than where it was in November of 2022. And this is altcoins for you, right? So you've got to keep things into perspective. Yes, it's a difficult time. Yes, they've got to figure out their way through this. And we've also got to remind ourselves that this was not a Fantom specific issue. I don't know why people are trying to conflate the issue to say that this was Fantom that broke. Fantom did not break. There's a very big difference, and I will continue to maintain this, between the Solana's outage and a Fantom bridge hack. Different. Now, whether it was a hack, whether it was a rug pull, Fantom could not control what happens on the multi-chain side. But where I do think they could have done better, and I said that in my video, and I said it in my interview with Michael Kong as well, that when those early alarm bells were ringing with multi-chain prior to the actual collapse, they really could have done better. They really could have done better warning the community, getting them off, instead of saying that multi-chain is operational fully without any issues. On top of that, the post-event dealings has also lacked a little bit of attention, protecting projects like this, better communications, and I've shared that openly with you guys. But from a tech perspective, no, the blockchain's still sound, right? The tech is still there, the valuation and the modeling is still there on Fantom. I still think it's undervalued, but now it changes the dynamics in terms of the time frame, and that is why I think Fantom might need a little bit more time. If you guys appreciate this video, let me know in the comments below. Give me your thoughts on where you stand with Fantom. Have you given up on this project? Do you love it? Do you still have conviction in it? Or you just kind of like, there's better projects out there at this point? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion. Make sure you go watch my H-bar video here, because that project was unstoppable, and I'll see you in the next one.